Durdle Magic. Thank you for tuning in to Durdle Magic. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell if you like the content you see here today, and leave a like and share the video with someone you might think is interested. Leaving those likes really helps us out, but another way to help us out is by using our TCG Player affiliate link below. If you're looking for singles, sealed product, or gaming accessories, please consider using our link to support the channel. We also have some playmats at inkgaming.com. Go ahead and hit the link in the description to check those out. Alright, let's grab some spells and Durdle with some magic. Hello and welcome back to Durdle Magic. For our last Commander of Commander Legends, we have a partner pairing of Livio and Kodama. Looking at our opening hand, some removal and 3 lands. I think we can keep it for now. So the purpose of this deck is kind of like a Blink landfall deck. And while I was developing this deck, they spoiled a new card from Kaldheim, which would probably be better to lead this or be in the 99 or vice versa, whatever. What can you do, right? Anyway, let's go over our commanders. Livio, Oathsworn Sentinel, 1 white for a legendary 2/2 human knight. 1 white, choose another target creature its controller may exile it with a GS counter on it. 2 white and tap, return all cards exiled with GS counters on them to the battlefield under their owner's control. Partner. He's not exactly a Blink general, but he still helps us with the ETBs, plus he can save some of our stuff from board wipes. So I really like the design of this card and I wanted to use it with something, so I paired it with Kodama of the East Street. 4 green for a legendary 6/6 spirit with reach. Whenever another permanent enters the battlefield under your control, if it wasn't put onto the battlefield with this ability, you may put a permanent card with equal or lesser converted mana cost from your hand onto the battlefield. Partner. That also includes, lands, because they're permanents. We did win the die roll to go first. Let's go ahead and play a Farce and pass it to our opponents. So at this point, I just want to say I'm using a new mouse, and it's a little bit not as, it doesn't function as well as my last mouse. But my other mouse was finally giving out after years of use. So I just want to point that out. So if things get a little bit jittery or something, that's why. Our first opponent with a Nomad Outpost into play is Sir Gwyn, Hero of Ashvale. I love this card. 3 red, white, black for a legendary 5/5 human knight. Vigilance and Menace. Whenever an equipped creature you control attacks, if you draw a card and lose 1 life, equipment you control have equipped knight 0. I love the design of this card. Wish she cost 4, but that might be pushing it. And I think Menace is very underrated, as I said in a video or 2 back. Our next opponent, Terramorphic Expanse into play and cracked for a snow-covered forest, and they are Riku of 2 Reflections. It is 2 green, blue, red for a legendary 2/2 human wizard. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you may pay blue-red. If you do copy that spell, you may choose new targets. And whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay green-blue. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that creature. Path of Ancestry into play for our last opponent, but we'll get to them in a minute. It's going to roll back over to our turn. We get Angel of Serenity. That'll be good for later. Let's go ahead and play a Sunpel Grove. No 2-drop, so we'll pass it to our opponents. Speaking of our opponents, our last opponent is Sensei Goldentail. I haven't seen one of these in forever. 1 white for a legendary 2/1 Fox Samurai Bushido. Whenever this creature blocks or becomes blocked, it gets 1/1 till end of turn. 1 white tap, put a training card on target creature, it gains Bushido 1 and becomes a samurai in addition to its other types. Activate this ability only anytime you can cast a sorcery. Okay, so my interest is severely piqued. I need to see what this deck does. Bloodstained Mire into play for the Sir Gwyn player, they crack it. I very much want to go back to Kamigawa. Supposedly we're going back at some point in the future. A few trademarks were filed here and there, but I have no confirmation on that myself. As far as I know, they're just rumors, but there are some articles about it. Looks like it's going to be more of a futuristic Kamigawa. So I'm hoping they bring in the conflict of old versus new, so we still get some of the old stuff. I don't know. Kamigawa is where I started, so there's a lot of nostalgia for me. So if I Triome into play for Sir Gwyn, they tap it down. Looks like they're passing it off. Riku of 2 Reflections, their turn. Snow-covered lands returning. Yeah. I also didn't like the full art ones. Like, the full art's nice, but they looked really generic. So as far as art goes, yes, they look nice, but I much prefer these new ones. You can, of course, let me know what you think about all the Snowlands in the comments. There's like 4 sets of them now? 3 sets? I'm not sure. Snow-covered mountain into play for Riku. That's the end of Riku's turn. Over to Sensei Goldentail. That's a Plains into play. One of my favorite Plains arts. Sensei Goldentail coming down for that. When they cast a creature spell that shares a creature type with their commander, rather scry 1, thanks to Path of Ancestry. Comes to our turn, we get a regular Plains. Let's go ahead and play it. Let's go ahead and play the Knight of Autumn. We do have Reclamation Sage in hand, so I'm not too worried about needing to blow up anything. And then it will come into play. Let's go ahead and put 2 1/1 counters on it. Make it a 4/3. That way we can survive some blocks. And we'll pass it off. With our blink shenanigans, we can reset it to get the life or to blow up something. So I'm not too worried about it. And we still have the Rec Sage. I think next turn, though, Sad Robot for sure. Sir Gwyn's turn. Swamp into play. Probably a lot of equipment if I had to wager. Read the bones, scry 2, draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. Riku's turn, snow-covered mountain, followed by Kodama's Reach. Alright, there's a snow-covered island in play. I was just about to say, the snow-covered lands are basic lands, so Kodama's Reach can get them. Sensei Golden Tail's turn, Authority of the Console is coming down for them. Alright, I mean, that's not terrible for us. Bushi Tenderfoot coming down. So this is, what do they call them now? They're not flip cards anymore, are they? They're twisty cards or something. Sensei Golden Tail on the attack off into the Riku player. That's fine with me. 2 damage is good. Riku down to 38 to commander. So as for Bushi Tenderfoot, it is a white for a 1/1. When a creature dealt damage by Bushi Tenderfoot dies this turn, flip Bushi Tenderfoot. And then it flips to a 3/4 with Double Strike in Bushido 2. Comes to our turn, we get Evolving Wilds, but let's go ahead and play the Blighted Woodland and the Sad Robot. Sad Robot into play tapped. Let's go get a land. What land do we need? We do have a lot of white in the deck, but I really want to make sure we have green first, so let's go ahead and get a forest. Go to combat, and let's go ahead and hit the Riku player. Nothing personal against them, but they're a land up. They're going to get a land up on people. And the snow has me concerned, and Riku always has me concerned, so I just want to hit them again. Riku down to 34, damage is good. Let's pass it off. Over to Sir Gwyn, that's a bad lands into play. Followed by Arcane Signet. Alright. So they have 3 mana left over for the turn. Not too bad. Could drop an equipment before Sir Gwyn comes down. That way they can just equip it, especially if it's just haste, like Lightning Greaves, Swiftfoot Boots, Ring of Valkus if they want. Or Helm of Cauldra, that'll be good too. First Strike, Trample, and Haste. So the Helm of Cauldra is a legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature has First Strike, Trample, and Haste. 1, if you control an equipment named Helm of Cauldra, Sword of Cauldra, and Shield of Cauldra, create Cauldra, a legendary 4/4 colorless avatar creature token, attach those equipment to it, equipped 2. Over to Riku's turn, that's a Reliquary Tower into play. Not something I like to see when there's blue involved. Lithoform Engine. Okay, well, I was going to use our Rec Sage to destroy the Helm, but I think Lithoform Engine is much more necessary. It's essentially like a second Riku in the deck, so pretty good. Over to Sensei Golden Tail, land slapped immediately into play. Let's see what they're summoning. Smothering Tithe. We have a target-rich environment, don't we? No attacks out of Sensei Golden Tail. That's fine with me. I think this next turn, Evolving Wilds, crack it, and get down Conjurer's Closet. Smothering Tithe will trigger, hopefully for the only time this game, but we'll see how things go. Let's play Evolving Wilds and crack it. Let's go get a Plains. And then let's go ahead and get down our Conjurer's Closet. Let's go to combat. I think we'll send the Knight of Autumn at Sir Gwyn. Damage is good. To the end step, let's go ahead and blink our Knight of Autumn. It'll come into play. We have some triggers. Let's destroy the Smothering Tithe. So I think next turn, definitely the Lithoform Engine, assuming Sir Gwyn doesn't attack us. But next turn we can also drop a Rec Sage, bounce the Rec Sage or the Knight of Autumn, and get stuff going, as long as nobody blows up the Conjurer's Closet. Over to Sir Gwyn, though. Graven Cairn's into play. Orzhov Signet coming down for Sir Gwyn. Sword of Steel and Sinew. Okay, so that changes things a little bit. Can destroy artifacts and planeswalkers. That means our Conjurer's Closet's probably not very long for this world, because we can destroy a lot of their stuff. Namely, we're going to have to destroy that sword. Over to Riku of 2 Reflections. 7 cards in hand still for them. Game's pretty early, it's only turn 5, so I am still very worried about definitely Sir Gwyn, definitely Riku. Still know what Golden Tail is doing, but we did destroy the Smothering Tithe, which probably inhibited them a lot. Yavimaya Elder coming down. So let's see what Lithoform Engine does. 4, 2, copy target activated ability or trigger ability you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. 3, copy target instant sorcery spell you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. And 4, tap, copy target permanent spell you control. The copy becomes a token. I should also mention that all those abilities are tap abilities. Over to Sensei Golden Tail with a Black Blade Reforged. Uh-oh. Honor of the Pure coming down. White creatures they control get 1/1. They're putting a Bushido counter on Bushi Tenderfoot. It is now a samurai in addition to its other types and has Bushido 1. Bushi Tenderfoot on the attack off into us. We will just take it. We are down to 38. Damage is good. Did not want to kill our sad robot because it would have just become a 3/3 and would have flipped over, had double strike. And then with the Black Blade Reforged would have been ridiculous. We get Swords to Plowshares. That's nice. Lots of removal this game. Not a lot of the landfall stuff, but hey, whatever works. Let's play the Rex Sage. Time to get rid of... I don't know, what should we get rid of? Probably the Sword of Steel and Sinew. Let's go ahead and do it. Sword of Steel and Sinew is going to get wrecked. Sword down. Let's go ahead and play Generous Gift on the Black Blade Reforged. Alright, that's down. Let's go to combat. We'll attack this Sir Gwyn player. And we'll go to our end step and blink the Rex Sage. Rex Sage back into play. Let's destroy the Lithoform Engine. Lithoform Engine down. Let's pass it off. Over to Sir Gwyn's turn. I expect Sir Gwyn and a hefty hit into us, which will be unfortunate, but let's see what happens. Sir Gwyn, Hero of Ashvale. Such epic art. Oh yeah, forgot about Authority of the Consuls. Spares us a turn, we can destroy the Helm of Kuldra. Helm of Kuldra being equipped. To Riku's turn. Now, they worry me the most because they have 6 cards in hand after the draw, whereas Sensei Golden Tail, being mono white, only has 2 cards, and they had card draw, I might not have blown it up, depending. Sir Gwyn now has card draw on their commander. Ooh, Strionic Resonator out of Riku. So Riku not only has more cards in hand, but they can potentially just copy their stuff and get even more value. So I definitely want to make sure I keep them down as much as possible while protecting our face and hopefully getting some card draw. Scalding Tarn into play and cracked for the Riku player. We have a Steam Events into play. Will it be untapped? It is. They are down to 31. We have Riku of 2 Reflections to the battlefield for that player. Over to Sensei Golden Tail. I'm anxious to see how they might recover. Smothering Tithe is a great card, but if you don't have anything cast, it's not worth much. Bushi Tenderfoot on the swing again into us. It is still only a 2/2, so we'll probably just take it. I still don't want it to flip. No blocks. Damage is good. We are down to 36. Second main, we get Oketra's Monument out. Okay, so at least now they have a cost reduction and they can get some more critters down, assuming they can draw some more creatures. Our turn gives us a Farce. That actually works out really well because I wanted to start summoning our commanders. Let's go ahead and summon Livio. Looks like we have a response out of the, yep, Generous Gift on our Conjurer's Closet. That's unfortunate. Not much we can do about that. It's down. Too bad. Alright, so we have mana up for Selfless Squire. Not a problem. Unfortunately, not destroying anything else this turn. Really wanted to get rid of the Strionic Resonator, but that's just not happening. And we'll pass it off to the Sir Gwyn player. So we also have 3 or 4 creatures that do the blinking thing and 3 or 4 spells that do it. So hopefully we'll run to a few of those as we go. Over to Sir Gwyn. Sir Gwyn straight to combat. Oh, it triggers. I don't even know where it's going right now. They'll draw a card and lose a life. It's going off into us. Yeah, I figured as much. Let's go ahead and play our Selfless Squire. It'll come into play tap, but it will trigger preventing damage from a source, or well, all damage, and it'll get that many 1/1 counters, making it a 6/6 on the untap. Oh, we have Path to Exile. That's too bad, but it will still prevent the damage. We'll go get a land out of it. Let's get a Plains. We're going to need it for Angel of Serenity. We will not block. Damage is prevented. We remain at 36. I really feel like they're focusing on the wrong person here because of the Riku with 4 cards in hand at the table. But honestly, I have a bias, so... Prowler's Helm coming down. Equipped creature can't be blocked except by walls. Over to Riku of 2 Reflections. 5 cards in hand after the draw. Possibility to copy a lot of stuff. It's, I don't think that it's going to be great. At least we have Swords to Plowshares up. Sakashima's Will. Target opponent chooses a creature they control, you gain control of it. It is going to Sir Gwyn. Oof. We also have a trigger out of Riku of 2 Reflections. Let's see if they want to copy it. Or... I guess we could exile Sir Gwyn, and it's kind of like a favor. Now, let's let this go and see what happens. They're in fact copying it. Let's see where this one's heading. They're both going over to the Sir Gwyn player. Oh no, sorry, this one's going over to us. Guess that was wrong. So what do we want them to, what do we want to give them though? I mean, probably the elephant. We can't blink it anyway. We will cast Swords to Plowshares on Sir Gwyn. That way Riku can't steal it and they can just recast it and give it haste next turn. Hopefully it gives us some goodwill. They also get some life out of it, but politics can be tricky. Alright, we have to give a creature. Let's go ahead and give the token. Sakashima's Will, the original one, will fizzle. There is no Sir Gwyn to steal. Just checking the chat there, Sir Gwyn does call it as a favor, so, and I mean, that's what we were trying to do, because I know Tron decks have some struggle there, and Riku does not need to make copies of Sir Gwyn or whatever. So, it's all going to work out in our favor. That's it for Riku. Over to Sensei Golden Tail. 1 card in hand after the draw. Bushi Tenderfoot on the attack, off into the Riku player. So if Riku does block, Bushi Tenderfoot will become, it'll get that 1/1 from Bushido and it'll flip over. Bushido was a lackluster but interesting mechanic. So if I remember the rules correctly, if you give something an extra thing of Bushido, each will trigger separately. So you can potentially make your guys really big if they get blocked. And this is, no, it has to be sorcery. I was gonna say, if it's instant speed, that's pretty good. Alright, we have an interception with Yavimaya Elder. It generally wants to die anyway. Bushido 1 will trigger. Bushi Tenderfoot will become a 3/3. Riku does have the mana up to pay for the Elder, or the Yavimaya Elder's ability, so they will be able to sacrifice it and get some lands. And draw a card. Alright, they did not pay the 2. They're just going to get some lands. Let's see what lands they get. These were from previous land searches. Snow-covered forest and snow-covered island. Alright, need green and blue, I suppose. Big creature in their hand, perhaps. Bushi Tenderfoot flips or twists or whatever they do now, I'm not entirely sure. So, as a recap, it is a 3/4 base with double strike. But now it's a 5/6 with double strike in Bushido 2, so whenever it blocks or becomes blocked, it'll get 2/2 till end of turn. Comes our turn, we get Eldrazi Displacer. You don't say. Well, okay. Do we want to play Kodama, though? I mean, no. See, the thing with Kodama is we need that card draw to really get going, and we aren't drawing it again. So let's go ahead and play the Eldrazi Displacer. It'll come into play tapped. Notably, the Eldrazi Displacer brings another target creature back to the battlefield tapped, so that will be something we have to be careful of, and we need the colorless mana from Blighted Woodland, so we'll have to wait through the turns to see what we want to do with it. No attacks out of us, let's pass it to our opponents. Over to Sir Gwyn, 3 cards in hand after the draw. Do they have enough mana to recast Sir Gwyn? It looks like they do, off by 1, but all the equips are 0, and it's going to be essentially unblockable now, so I think they're in a good position. They just need to keep up something to protect it, maybe get down some Shroud or a Hexproof at some point. Sir Gwyn, Hero of Ashvale, coming back to the battlefield for that player. Also, X-Nay on the Shroud, because then you can't equip without something like Brass Squire or Magnetic Theft. Land in play. Hanwar Battlements. So, red, target creature gains haste, tap sad colorless, or if you can meld it if you have both cards on the battlefield. We'll have to wait and see if they do. Lone Rider coming down for them as well. Okay, over to Riku's turn. This is probably the turn where we need to use Eldrazi Displacer. We will have to wait and see. We have a Chaos Warp targeting the elephant. Yeah, I guess we'll blank the elephant. Why not? Alright, so they are going to copy it. So let's go ahead and potentially blink the elephant. We can't do it otherwise. Livio only affects things and it's a May trigger, and I doubt they do it. But let's go ahead and do the things. We'll blink the elephant, or at least attempt to. So it should resolve first. We should be able to blank the Chaos Warp, and then if they try to Chaos Warp one of our things, we'll just use Livio, and then just get whatever we blink out with the Aegis counter back. Unless it's Livio, he can't target himself. By that case, we get something for free, and Livio only costs 2, so I think we're in a pretty good position here. Token gets blinked out of existence. Let's see if they'll pay to copy. They could always Chaos Warp their own commander. Alright, so new Chaos Warp. Where is it going? New Chaos Warp is targeting our Eldrazi Displacer. Yep, that's fine. We'll just blink it in and out again. Ooh, Riku quits. Use the ability from him. I guess we won't, since Eldrazi Displacer is just going to stay there. Alright, that's it for Riku. Over to Sensei Goldentail. Well, that's unfortunate, but it does take care of one of our major competitors. Over to Sensei Goldentail. Unfortunately, now we can't, like, block and then blink our guy. So we'll be taking potentially 8 damage from the Bushi. Yeah, it's off into us. Yeah, I guess Solemn Simulacrum, get some card draw off of it. Sad Robot, I'm sorry. Yeah, and they trigger separately, just like I said. So it will get 3/3 until end of turn. I am so glad it does not have Trample. Double Strike and Trample, and then if you add Death Touch, that is just a chef kiss of combat. You know, unless you attack again, then it's even better. It's like dessert. So it is a 7/8 with Double Strike. Oif. Alright, we block. Sad Robot die. Sad Robot apparently dies upside down. That's great. We'll draw a card. See, that's what Double Strike does to people. It whacks their Sad Robot upside down. Second main phase, Plains into play for the Sensei Goldentail player. Still 1 card in hand, though. I imagine it's going to be some kind of removal. We did draw Crozen Verge. That'll be good if we ever get one of our landfall guys. Flicker Wisp can be interesting. I think we might need to do that a little bit. Let's go ahead and play Crozen Verge. Enters the battlefield tapped regardless. So I think what we do here, potentially Angel of Serenity. Solemn Simulacrum gets exiled. We can get it back if the Angel of Serenity gets blinked. Probably get rid of Sir Gwyn. I'll have to take a look at the Lone Rider and the Bushi Tenderfoot. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Lone Rider. When it flips, First Strike, Trample, Lifelink on both sides actually, so it's not that great. Durf. Yeah, let's do Angel of Serenity. We have a trigger. Sad Robot, Sir Gwyn, and the Bushi Tenderfoot. Alright, let's exile some stuff. They can have their stuff back once Angel of Serenity leaves the battlefield, but we also get back our Sad Robot, which is very nice. Okay, so Sir Gwyn went back to the command zone. Let's go to attacks. We'll attack the Sir Gwyn player with, well, there's that elephant. Yeah, let's attack with all 3. We'll have to win eventually, even if we have to peck our enemies to death. Damage is good, 2 commander, down to 29 for Sir Gwyn. Let's go ahead and pass the turn. So, Angel of Serenity, when it leaves the battlefield, they get returned to their hand, so they will have to recast it. So, that's great for us, because then we just get another land with Sad Robot. Bushi Tenderfoot will come back down, but then they'll have to get a big shield counter on again, so it's actually very good. It's like removal, recursion, all that stuff in one. Over to Sir Gwyn's turn, land into play, followed by Sir Gwyn, I imagine. Sir Gwyn, Hero of Ashvale, coming down for that player. I think this is the 3rd time this game. Prowler's Helm gets equipped to the Lone Rider. It can now not be blocked by anything except walls. Lone Rider on the attack. Off into us? Yep. Sir Gwyn, Hero of Ashvale will trigger. They will lose a life, but then gain a life thanks to the lifelink on Lone Rider and draw a card. We take 1. We are down to 35. Sir Gwyn, rather, Hero of Ashvale, back up to 29. Helm of Cauldron is being equipped to Sir Gwyn. Alright. And that's it. Over to Sensei Goldentail. They still have that one card in hand. And that one card worries me. Well, now two after the draw. Because white has answers to everything. So anything on the field they can just get rid of. Especially if they have a board wipe. That would be really bad for us right now. Sensei Goldentail to the attack. Are they going to do it? Oh, they quit the game. Sad face. Alright. That just leaves Sir Gwyn. I always want to say Sir Ashvale. It is Sir Ashvale. Ooh, Heliod's Intervention. So potentially we could end the game right here. Just by proxy of destroying all of their stuff. Let's go ahead and activate Eldrazi Displacer on Angel of Serenity. Alright, we have some triggers. So let's go ahead and put the Exile one on first and the Angel of Serenity on top so we can get our guy back. And it does say up to 3 targets, so we don't have to do that. We only pick the 2 of our enemies. We get Sad Robot back. And their creatures get exiled. Let's see if they put Sir Gwyn back into... Okay, they do not. Yeah, they're running low on the mana for that. Let's go ahead and play the Sad Robot. We go get a land. Let's get a forest. And let's go to attacks. Attack with everything able. We will be doing 9 damage. 9 damage is good. They're down to 20, up to 4 commander. Let's pass it off. Now, we do have mana up for Livio's first ability. His first ability does not have the tap symbol in it, so there's no worries there. So if they target our Angel of Serenity with some kind of permanent removal, we can just respond with the Aegeus counter. Winterborn Commander coming down. It has Death Touch. Helm of Cauldron being equipped to it. So this will be First Strike, Trample, Haste, right? Yep. Prowess Helm also being equipped. We will be unable to block it. Ooh, and Sword of Fire and Ice coming down with 2 mana left to equip. Well, that changes things slightly. Sword of Fire and Ice equipped to the Wintermoor. So, also protection from blue and red, which isn't too much of a problem for us. Temple of Malice into play, they will scry 1. But the 2 damage in the card draw, specifically, might slowly eat into our board presence. They're on the attack, 4-3. We can't block it. Let's take it to the face. 4 damage is good. We're down to 31. Sword of Fire and Ice will trigger. Let's see what they're trying to try to kill. Livio. Yep, Livio cannot protect itself. So we can summon it back, but we'd have to wait a turn. So I think next turn we'll Heliod's Intervention and see what happens there. Let's just let Livio die. We will not put it back into the command zone. And that's it. We get Garrick's Uprising. Finally some card draw. About time. We'll go after all that card draw stuff after the game, but that is a pain in the butt. Let's go ahead and summon Kodama. We haven't summoned it yet this game, and it might still yet be useful. I don't think we're going to be winning that quick, but Heliod's Intervention might in fact win us the game here. Let's go ahead and blink the Night of Autumn. Kodama will trigger. Night of Autumn will trigger. Let's destroy target artifact or enchantment. We'll do the Sword of Fire and Ice. We don't need them taking any more of our guys off the battlefield. And then Kodama will trigger, and we'll do Flicker Wisp. It comes into play. We will flicker the Night of Autumn. That'll come back at end of turn. Let's go to combat. Attack with everything able. Damage is good. They take 12. They are down to 8. Let's pass it off. Flicker Wisp will trigger. The delayed trigger hits the stack. Night of Autumn comes back into play. Kodama of the East Tree won't do anything for us. Night of Autumn, however, will destroy the Helm of Cauldron. No more haste for them. And we can put in Garrick's Uprising. I'm sorry. How? What? I thought I had to share a permanent type. Or is it just a permanent? It's just a permanent. That's fantastic. Garrick's Uprising into play. We get to draw a card. We get Temple of the False God. Over to Sir Gwyn. Let's see what they can do with the turn. I mean, a board wipe would still be very, very bad at this moment. Sword of Cauldron coming down. Equipped creature gets 5/5. Alright. Also, it has, let's see, what was that? Whenever equipped creature deals damage to a creature, exile that creature. Oh, that's not terrible. Sword of Cauldron is being equipped to the Wintermoor. Wintermoor Commander on the attack. Gotta give it to him for the tenacity. We can still not block it. We have no walls, so we will be taking 7. We are going down to 24. Damage is good, down to 24. Second main phase for them, they still have 1 card in hand. Bloodsworn Steward, a card I think a lot of people forget about. Has flying, and commander creatures you control rather get 2/2 and have haste. It's also 4/4 for 4. That's not too shabby. Comes to our turn, we get Ashaya, Soul of the World. That helps us a lot with our landfall, which we didn't see at all this game. So I'll have to check that out afterward too. Let's play Temple of the False God. Kodama of the East Tree will trigger, but we have no more lands. Okay, at this point, let's just go to attacks. We have 2 flyers that can... Oh, they have a flyer, though. So, let's see. We could attack with the Angel. Seems good. And I think we'll leave it there. Let's just attack with the Angel for now. Actually, that was a bit of a mistake. We could have just swarmed them. Not entirely sure why I did that. A bit too conservative in my play there. Alright, their flyer is down. Angel of Serenity is fine. Let's just go ahead and play Heliod's Intervention then. We'll destroy their remaining equipment. And there it goes, and let's pass the turn. Over to Sir Gwyn. Fire Shrieker coming down for that player. Fire Shrieker being equipped, it will have double strike. Winterborn Commander on the attack. Let's go ahead and block with the Sad Robot, I suppose. And then we'll respond by blinking it. We have some stuff happen. Unfortunately, Sad Robot will get us a land, but Kodama's Reach will not get us a Shia to the battlefield. No damage gets through. Rolls on over to our turn. Let's see what we draw. We draw Spring Bloom Druid. Still not getting any of the landfall stuff, but alright. Alright, let's just go straight to attacks and finish the game off this time. Go ahead and do Kodama and Flicker Wisp. That should be enough. Let's just do it. Damage is good. We win the game. So this actually turned out pretty good. Might need some tweaking, like, you know, card draw. But I'm going to give the point to Sir Gwyn. Thanks for sticking it out. I really appreciate that. They did say in chat that they were hitting like nothing but lands. Yeah. I know that problem in some games. And there it is. We get 1 point. Sir Gwyn gets 2. And the Riku player gets 2. Unfortunately, nothing for the Sensei Golden Tail. I also appreciate them being in the game. I mean, I hosted I Said Casual, and that was very casual, so I was also anxious to see it, but Smothering Tithe just can't go unanswered. Alright, let's take a look at the deck. Alright, so here's the deck. And we got to see both commanders kind of do their thing this game, but not in their entirety. But I think the deck overall gets the idea across. So for Livio, it's like a very slow blink effect. It also helps protect our guys. And he's only 2 CMC, so he can come back, tap eventually, and just get all that stuff back with ETBs. Kodama of the East Tree works a lot better when we have card draw, and we'll go over that in a minute. But, you know, we got that Flicker Wisp down for free, and got an extra trigger off of that, so it can be very, very good that way. Plus, again, I love Kamigawa for nostalgia reasons. Kodama seems like it could be a very busted card, so I tried to intentionally not be too busted with it in here, but I also love Blink decks. And we do have some landfall effects, so let's get into those things. Alright, so for card draw, we're really depending on green for that. And we have stuff like Eric's Uprising, which we finally got. We even got a card draw off of it for it coming into play, and it gave our guys trample. We didn't see too many of our guys that have overpower 4, but we'll go over that at some other point in the future. Other than that, we have Elemental Bond, which does it for 3 power. And that's something we didn't see either. And our guys are closer to being 3 powered most of the time, so there's that. Lifecrafter's Bestiary, rather. We get to scry, and then we can pay green whenever we cast a spell. So a little bit more card draw there. Plus we can get like something off the top of our deck that we don't necessarily need right now. Beast Whisperer, kind of a classic card at this point. It's whenever we cast a spell, so not exactly abusable in this deck, but it's still card draw, it's still a body. And then we have Guardian Project over here. That with the blinks would be fantastic, but we would have to be careful. Although with Kodama out, we could potentially spill a lot of our deck and hand out onto the battlefield. Overextending in this deck is theoretically very dangerous and very easy. But, you know, didn't see that this time. And then we have Garrick's Pack Leader, a lot like Elemental Bond. 3 power or greater, we may draw cards. This one is a May trigger, so that's really good. Then we have Shamanic Revelation, classic green card at this point, printed into the Oblivion. And some life gain tacked on, so not bad. Soul of the Harvest for those ETB triggers, and we don't make almost any tokens in the deck except I think like 2 or 3 cards. And then we have Rishkar's Expertise. So we have cards in the deck that draw us cards, but apparently they don't like me. I don't know what to say. So we also have a heavy top end, just so we can get some more lands out, and then we have some good blink effects. We also have the landfall effects like Rampaging Baloth. We have you know, Emiria Shepherd to get some of our stuff back. Admonition Angel, which actually might be subpar in this deck. I haven't decided. I'm looking at other cards. And then we have Avenger of Zendikar, pretty much a classic army in a can. Hornet Queen, another army in a can, but they also fly and have Death Touch. Blink that a few times and you're good to go. And then we have Sifter Worm, which is actually a favorite uncommon card of mine because it scries 3 when it enters the battlefield and we gain life. But we also get to manipulate the top of our library to draw more cards. So I think that's fantastic. Alright, well there's the deck for now. We'll go over some of the Blink stuff in the next video. I don't know if I want to tweak the deck just yet. I think I want to take it out for another test run, maybe in between videos. Maybe play it again for the next video, but let me know in the comments below if you have any suggestions for the deck. We are doing like a Landfall Blink sub-theme, so I don't know if that's going to muddle it up too much. You can let me know that in the comments too. If you saw any cards you want to order for yourself, Sealed Product Kaldheim is coming out soon. We'll be covering those commanders, of course, and some sleeves if you want some of those to protect all that new stuff. Please consider using the TCG Player affiliate link in the description below. It helps out the channel. It doesn't cost you anything extra. Alright, so last partner pair. Definitely wanted to cover another partner pair before we left Commander Legends. So I hope you're enjoying it so far. Again, if you have suggestions, comment below, and I'll see you for the next video.